Yeah, a Rolls Royce has doors that will close with a push of a button, so does the Maybach. But the Maybach S580 has something better. It has doors that will close with gesture control. How cool is that? Now, the Mercedes Benz S Class is by far the best flagship luxury sedan that you can buy. But what if you want more? What if you want more luxury, more prestige, and more opulence? Well, right away you would think of something like the Rolls Royce Phantom or the Bentley Flying Spur, but there is something more Mercedes has for you. My name is Omar, and this is the Mercedes Maybach S580. Yes, it's pronounced Maybach, not Maybach. You can thank Rick Ross and Maybach music for that. So, the Maybach S580. Yes, I should be sitting in the back and doing this review while my chauffeur drives me around, but hey, I'm not that rich. I just get to live like this for a week and then it's back to real life. And that's something I've been thinking about a lot while driving this. What is real life like for people that own something like the Maybach or a Rolls Royce Phantom? I'm sure they constantly get looks of either someone being impressed or someone being filled with envy. Since the first day I received this for a week-long review, I've been getting constant attention. Some of it has been thumbs up and smiles, but some of it has been people rolling their eyes at me. But yeah, obviously this car isn't for the masses, and it may not even be for the rich. This is for the elite, the celebrities, the CEOs and founders of a company. You buy something like this to make a statement, and man, what a statement this thing makes. The Maybach S580 carries a starting price tag of right under $185,000. That's about $75,000 more than the regular S Class. And now that I think about it, you can either buy yourself one Maybach or you can buy yourself a regular S Class and an AMG E53 sedan. Let me know what you would do in the comments below. But the splurging doesn't stop there. The one that I'm testing here carries a final price tag of $231,000. Just a two-tone paint job on the outside alone costs an extra $14,500. And it's got a ton of other luxury features and tricks up its sleeve that I'll give you a tour of in a few seconds. But what I really want to know is the Maybach S580 worth spending an extra $75,000 over the S Class? At the same time, I want to know if this gives you the same experience as a $460,000 Rolls Royce Phantom at half the price. Let's find out. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. All right, let's do this. All right, let's get ready to hate the fact that you're not a celebrity or insanely rich, because you're about to see the best interior that money can buy. And since you're meant to be driven in a Maybach instead of driving it, let's start with the back seats. But before we go over the crazy amount of luxury and tech, let's talk about the rear doors. Now, since you're rich, you shouldn't be bothered to exert any energy to open and close your own doors, which is why your chauffeur has the ability to open and close them for you right from the infotainment system. You just slide this slider towards the outside to open them, and the rear doors will open ever so gently. Slide it towards the inside, and of course, they will close. You don't have to do anything. And if you're insanely rich and you have a sidekick and both of you just leave the doors open because you have no manners, the chauffeur can click close all and both of the rear doors will close at the same time. That's really cool. But it doesn't stop there. If you and your chauffeur happen to get in a fight, you can still open and close the doors automatically by using this button right here on the top. This is some next level stuff here, people. Absolutely amazing. And what if I told you it gets better? Are you ready for the best part about the rear doors? The Maybach S580 here actually has gesture control to close the rear doors. You just wave your arm in a closed motion and the rear doors will shut all the way in a nice and slow and luxurious manner. And last but not least, if you're outside your Maybach and you don't want to waste any physical energy closing the doors, you can just tap this indentation right here and the doors will close automatically. And that's why the price tag of a Maybach S580 starts at $184,900, because you can do things like this. By the way, all this door action will cost you an extra $1,350 on top of that price tag. Alright, so let's check out what living in the lap of luxury looks like. These rear seats are more comfortable than the first class seats of an airline. But let's check out the legroom first. You have a total of 49 inches of legroom back here, but that doesn't even matter because you can get a ton of more space and comfort. These seats are even more comfortable than my entire house. You have these amazing Maybach pillows wrapped around the headrest so you can rest your head on a cloud. Now, there is no doubt that you can adjust these seats in a million different ways to find the most comfortable position for you. And once you find your most comfortable position, you can save them with memory seats in the back. In fact, every seat in the Maybach S580 has memory seats. When was the last time you were in a car with rear memory seats? However, the most comfortable position in the Maybach S580 is when you're completely laid back. And to do that, first you click this button to move the passenger seat completely out of the way. As soon as you click it, the passenger seat moves up and folds forward as far as it can go. And then you click this button showing a person laying down and the seat folds down as far as it can. A footrest will come up so you can lay down and live in the lap of Maybach luxury. Now come on, this is better than any first class seat of any airline that I've flown. And check this out, you actually have a pillow on the footrest. Of course, it goes without saying that the rear seats on the Maybach S580 are not only heated and cooled, but you also have massaging seats back here. And everything can be controlled right here from this tablet. In fact, this tablet can control a range of things, including the media, the climate, and the ambient lighting. Basically, anything there is to control, you can do it all from right here. And you can also hit this button, eject it, and hold it if you don't want to keep reaching into the middle. Speaking of ambient lighting, Mercedes-Benz has some of the best ambient lighting in the game, and the vibe in the backseat of this Maybach does not disappoint. You can set it to any color you want, and it feels like a lounge back here. Now, as you're laying down in the lap of luxury, you might realize you have to get some work done so you can continue to pay for a lifestyle that affords you a vehicle like the Maybach, which is why you have these folding tables that you can pull out from the center armrest. And then you can throw on your laptop and get some work done, because this whole setup that you've seen so far will cost you an extra $6,000 on top of the starting price tag. But hey, work hard, play hard, right? Well, for playtime, you can pay an extra $1,100 and get an actual refrigerator back here to keep your drinks nice and cold. And if you're looking into popping bottles, you can get these Maybach branded champagne flutes that will cost you an extra, get ready, $3,200. That's right, these two champagne glasses will cost you more than my monthly mortgage. But what happens if your chauffeur is an aggressive driver? Do your expensive champagne flutes just fall over? Of course not. The Mercedes Maybach team thought of that as well. Click either of these little silver buttons right here on the center console and the lid will automatically retract back, revealing a whole section that was hidden away. And right here you actually have clamps for your champagne glasses. You can just push them down here and the silver part grips the bottom. So if your driver gets crazy, your drinks will never fall over. Right above the champagne glass clamps, you have two cup holders, but not just any cup holders. These cup holders are actually heated and cooled. You just push this button right here and you'll see the light in the cup holders turn red or blue. Blue for cold, obviously, and red for hot. And right above those cup holders, you have your climate settings, which you can control right from the tablet, but those are just there in case the tablet fails. That said, another place where you can control the climate is from these two screens in the back. These basically house the whole MBUX infotainment settings, just like that tablet that we saw earlier. And they give you the ability to control anything and everything in the car, you know, because you paid for this car, so you should have full control even though you're sitting in the back. You can even turn on the air fragrance and get a sense of what pure luxury smells like. And let me tell you, it smells so good. That said, all that luxury obviously has you feeling nervous from all the haters. Well, you can raise the hater shades on the side windows so no one can peek at you from the side. Even this tiny little window right here gets covered up. You also have a shade in the back to block all the hate coming from there. And of course, you can also close the roller sun blinds from the back seat here as well, just in case somebody climbs on top of your Maybach and tries to look inside and throw some hate your way. And if you're wondering what this big silver thing is, that's actually one of the 16 speakers in the Maybach S580 from the standard Burmester sound system, and it obviously sounds absolutely amazing. All right, so since I'm not rich enough to have someone driving me around, a lot of my time has been spent up here in the front seats. And when it comes to the front seats, the luxury is just as impressive as in the back. You have all the things that you would expect at this price tag, including heated and cooled front seats, a heated steering wheel, of course, you also have massaging seats right up here. But just like the back, you also get Maybach pillows on the headrest because, hey, the chauffeur deserves some comfort as well. Tech-wise, you have everything and anything you can imagine. You have a 12.8-inch OLED center display that houses the MBUX infotainment. You get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, along with navigation and much more. You also get a 12.3-inch digital instrument display that is very, very informative and very customizable. You have a range of themes that you can pick from, including this exclusive Maybach theme right here. Of course, you also have a full screen map view, and you also have a 3D view, which is cool, but it kind of gives me a headache after a while. But yeah, if you want a deeper dive into the tech up here, check out my original S Class review. I go into quite a bit of detail there, including all the driver assist tech that you get, because this thing has a bunch of driver assist tech that is very impressive. However, I quickly want to go back to the Burmester sound system. It is standard here, so it won't cost you an extra like $10,000. So not only does this system sound amazing, but it has 4D surround sound. What does that mean? That means that the seats will actually vibrate to the bass of any song you're listening to, and you can adjust the level of intensity of that bass feeling that you get. That is pretty next level and really, really cool. But yeah, I have to say that the front looks just as classy and luxurious as the back. You have this real wood trim with lines going up and down vertically. It's probably inspired by some expensive yacht look, but it looks really nice. Speaking of expensive, my test model has the manufacturer leather package for an extra $8,000. And for that kind of money, you get leather everywhere you can possibly imagine. Even right up here on the headliner. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, with all the optional extras, my test model here carries a final price tag of over $231,000. My God, I had to start investing or saving like 5 or 10 years ago. Okay, so let's look at the exterior design of the Maybach S580. Yes, it's based on the S Class, but this thing just has an outstanding presence. It looks longer and bigger because it actually is by 7 inches, and it definitely looks more luxurious. Of course, one of the reasons my test model here probably looks as luxurious as it does is because of the two-tone paint job. Now, usually I'm not a huge fan of two-tone paint jobs, but it definitely looks outstanding here. This thing turned so many heads the week I was driving it around, and I believe one of the reasons people looked as much as they did was because this two-tone color combo makes it look a little special. But of course, looking special costs money, so the Series Silver and Obsidian Black paint job will cost you an extra, get ready, $14,500. I've bought used cars for less than the price tag of this paint job. Of course, it may make you feel better that this line going down the side of the Maybach S580 is hand painted, so whoever is doing that part is really well paid. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much S-Class and really beautiful. By the way, my test model is one of the few Maybach S580 testers out there without monoblock wheels. The wheels on my test model are 21-inch champagne flute wheels, and they will cost you an extra $1,300. These are actually the only wheel options that will cost you extra. All the other options are free 99. Alright, so before I give you my opinion on how it is to drive or be driven in the Maybach S580, let me put in a few daily ownership highlights that I'll have to show all of you. You have 4 real cup holders. You have 2 in the front right there, and then you have 2 in the back right here. But again, you also have those champagne flute holders, so maybe 6. Here are what the keys look like. Now, these are a very nice heavy set of keys. You have the Benz logo and the Maybach logo right there. Pretty cool. Door open and close sound from the outside. Of course, you have soft closed doors as well. And from the inside, very solid indeed. Charging game-wise, you have 2 USB-C ports right there and a wireless charger right back there. You've also got 2 USB-C ports in the center armrest. And since you're supposed to be sitting in the back, you have a wireless charger right here in the center armrest, and you have 4 USB-C ports. That's insane. All right, time for an indicator and horn sound test. Indicator first. Very luxurious. Oh yes. Now for the horn sound. Oh yeah, that is solid. So right off the bat, this is a nice Rolls Royce Phantom substitute if you want to save yourself $230,000, but at the end of the day, this is not a Phantom. It'll definitely turn heads like a Phantom will, but I bet it will only do that if you spend the extra $14,500 on the two-tone paint job. Because without that, most people will just mistake this for a regular S-Class. And believe me, if you're spending that kind of money, you don't want that. That said, how does this compare to the S Class? This is an S Class at the end of the day, nobody's denying that. Yes, it's 7 inches longer, has a few more luxury touches, but it rides very similar to the S Class, and the rear seat luxury is also very similar to the regular S Class. But you're probably thinking that this has more power. Well, no, this is powered by the same 4-liter twin-turbo V8 as the regular S580, and that makes 496 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. This is a bit slower to 60, taking a total of 4.7 seconds, while the S Class 580 will do it in 4.4 seconds. Of course, that's because the Maybach here is heavier by 460 pounds. We're supposed to be getting a Maybach S680, which will be powered by a twin-turbo V12 making 621 horsepower. But the way things are going with everybody rushing to go electric and with Mercedes-Benz slowly canceling out their V8 models, I wouldn't be surprised if that gets canceled as well. But yeah, this thing is insanely comfortable. You literally don't feel anything on the road. You're honestly just flying down the road, especially if you get the E-Active body control with curve mode. Curve mode literally leans this thing 3 degrees into the turn, meaning you won't feel any pitching or rolling. You literally will not move. Now, as a passenger, that's amazing, but as a driver, when you're expecting the car to tilt and roll just a little bit, it feels a little odd, but amazing at the same time. Now, you can also get that feature on the regular S Class and many other Mercedes-Benz models. What this has that the regular S Class doesn't is Maybach mode. Now, what this does is it makes sure that the body movements of the person sitting in the rear seat that actually paid for this car doesn't feel a thing. It throttles back the acceleration, the transmission will start off in second gear and will have fewer shifts throughout the drive. Let's just call this the I hate driving or I'm too rich to drive or let's punish the driver mode, because that's what it feels like. I'm accelerating and literally the power of that twin turbo V8 is being held back. I hate this mode as a driver. As a rear passenger, I don't know, I haven't experienced it. So let's get back to it. Is this worth getting over the S Class? Yes, if you have the money and you want to show off your wealth, it's definitely worth it. People that buy a Maybach aren't concerned with spending an extra $75,000 over an S Class. They would just do it. What they want is the luxury, the prestige, the opulence, and the attention that comes along with having a Maybach S580, and this thing provides all of that. Of course, if you're S Class rich, don't hurt your bank account. Work harder and become Maybach rich. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys at the next one. Take care. Peace. Believe me, I would love to be Maybach rich. But even if I was Maybach rich, I still wouldn't sit in the back that often. I would most likely drive. I mean, my name is online, Omar Drives. It'd be weird if I sat in the back. Would you call me Omar sits in the rear seat while somebody else drives? That'd be weird.